Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing another hpal video. And we finally did it. We've gotten 2400 on hpal, well, now we're 2500. It's not on my account, it's on my brother's account because I'm getting him legend because he doesn't really play until next expansion. So there's that. But that's pretty much that. We have a 6-0 lobby versus the rest of the group, which literally should never happen. I don't know if this was pure luck or if just I was on my A game. Who knows? All I know is for some reason people just didn't do what they were normally supposed to do. So here versus what they're supposed to do, the warrior and ret, all they have to do is go me, and they will win the game. They are more likely to win going me than they are going the mages. And they decided to barely go me, so we end up getting a free Weon, pretty much. Again, their only win rate here is killing mages at a melee is already really difficult, and then doing it with an hpal is even more difficult because I have pops, I have freedoms for them to kite. So yeah, all they need to do is just go me. So every Hodge, they just go me and they kill me. That's it. That's how you win this. Thankfully they don't. Thankfully the DPS is just, and they didn't realize this, but every time I told them to go Residruid, every time we went Residruid, even just a few times, we literally killed the Residruid almost every time. And that's how you beat a Residruid. It's the only way you beat a Residruid usually. Unless you're an evoker. If you're an evoker, you're automatically gonna win because you have perma purge and it's the most broken. Like that's why Restored is number one. Otherwise, it would be because of evokers. If evokers weren't as broken as they were, just purging wise, then Druid would be on top. Just overall healing, I think Druid's probably top, but evokers just perma purge every go, and then you just end up, ooming or dying before you can even get hots back up. But obviously here we line the clone. He's just trying to spam clones. He's in a really bad position. He's just like right in the middle. This is where we want to hodge him and go him. But at this point I'm just trying to survive. This is more of like a longer game. Um, we're most likely not going to kill somebody very quickly. This is going to be like a longer game. Wait for them to have 0 CDs and then kill them. It's not like what they can do. Again, if they just go me, they have a 90% win chance. As double mage, we don't. It's not going to end well for us, pretty much. Thankfully, they have no purges, so the one time I get value out of my bop. I honestly wish bop was like it wasn't purgeable, or like I don't know. I feel like bop is just such a like, cause sack's not really a cooldown if you think about it. Sack, it really isn't. It's not even a good cooldown at all in the first place. I think it needs to be a lot better than what it is. I mean, it's a 1 minute cooldown, so like it's okay, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a major cooldown. And then Bop's not a major cooldown because it can be purged first global. Because we only have two things we can put up. We can put up a freedom, and then we can put up a Bop. And then obviously you have your thing. Here I bubble. The reason I bubble here is because I need to keep him high HP. So if I wait the entire CC chain, guess what's going to end up happening? He's going to get 30% and then he's going to die. So I made sure I bubble here to keep him up. I'm making sure I keep them up. That's the main goal for us right now. So here I had beacon on myself the entire time because usually they were supposed to swap me. Like I was waiting for them to swap me, so I preemptively beat myself, and they just never did. And that's the reason we won this match. Because again, we should never win this. As double mage, we have a very low win chance to win this. It's not like warlock mage or SP mage. It's simply double mage with an arcane. So all they need to do is just train me, literally train me into the ground. And you'll see after the first match or first or second, we literally just train the healer, and that's what you need to do versus Restored. The healer will always be the one that you kill usually, or you'll get a lucky kill on the mage. So like here, what we want to do is we want to go druid on the Hajj and add a form usually. If we can do that, even if it's just a 6 second swamp, I'm telling you, just that 6 seconds will pressure him into trinketing. Or usually as a rep paladin, you get trinket the first go, and then the second go, you Hajj him again, you keep doing damage to him, and eventually the dampening will get high enough to where he's just gonna wings and he's just gonna kill you through your healing. And then after the Hajj. And you'll see here that if we just listened from the start and we've gone Restored a lot more, because again, that's how you beat Restored. A lot of people don't know this. Restoreds are super squishy. They're probably the squishiest like healer in the entire game. I think they're squishier than an Evoker. Like when I literally, if I have a warrior or a windwalker on me, just for like 3 seconds, I'm literally almost dead on my Resident. Even if I bear form, even if I root them, it's insanely just dumb, honestly. So here I pre-sack, and again, thankfully they break the shields, so I get value out of my sack. This is a rare occurrence for me. If anybody plays hpal, you know when you sack somebody and they have a shield on them, it doesn't break, and then you just wasted your entire sack. It's the most aggravating thing I've ever had done to me, and as you can see here, I literally can't even cast yet. I've literally been CC'd non-stop. So I finally get a cast, and um, I can definitely tell the difference between being on my Residruid and obviously you guys don't know, but I've been playing on a Residruid. I'm actually like 53 and 14 on my Residruid. I can't it's not necessarily on my account, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. So you guys can I'm not gonna elaborate. I'm just gonna tell you this, but I'm not elaborating farther. On my Residruid, it's god tier. I have a better record on the Resident that I'm playing at like 2400 2416 at like 53 and 14, which is a god tier record, probably the best record that some like that mainly almost anyone's had. There's probably been a few people obviously, but that's one of my best records I've ever had. And again, if three threes gave me MMR and gained me rating, I could get rank 1 on any character. I honestly believe that. Unfortunately, on this HPAL, what's going to end up happening is my MMR is going to equal out. So let's say my next game, I gain 40 rating, and I go 4-2, I'm only going to gain 20 or 30 MMR. So eventually, when my MMR equals out, because I'll eventually go 3-3, and my 3-3 is going to cancel out 30 MMR, which is a lot of MMR. If you guys don't know, 30 MMR at this rating is insanely terrible for us. So going 3-3 is really just it's a loss. It's not like, oh well, we just got saved. It's literally the worst case scenario. It's as bad as going 2-4. That's how much, like, if you don't have MMR, you can't play the game. So if you guys think going 3-3 is like, oh yes, I went 3-3, I didn't lose rating. No, trust me, it's you want to go 4-2. Your only option is to go 4-2. I'm telling you. It's that bad. It's literally that bad. So here I Hodge. I Trinket Hodge the Warrior here because I know that I need to keep my guy up. He has no bubble. All he has is Magic Bop, and there's no point of lay on handsing him because if I lay on hands him, it's not going to do much healing. If you don't lay on hands in the first couple, like here, I'm surprised we didn't die. Look at, and as you can see, we literally are training the Druid and we kill the Druid, and the Ret almost threw just by running around the pillar like he did. Like if the warrior was good, he would have just went the ret. Because guess what? That bubble that he used is only against magical spells. So if the warrior just sat on the ret, he was 100% dead. 100% guaranteed win. So I don't know why he swapped. I think he was trying to peel, but at that point, the red's dead. He's at 30%, and a warrior's easily killing him in a couple globals. So thankfully, he ended. To be fair, it wasn't really the druid's fault necessarily. It was mainly the DPS. I think the DPSs were probably some of the worst that I played with. Now they were good using their cooldowns, but like who to target and who to go, they probably had some of the worst targeting I've ever seen. And this warrior had a good idea, so he realized, okay, well we need to go the H-Pal, which is really good. Obviously, an issue with going in H-Pal is with a Ret Paladin, it's terrible. A Ret and an H-Pal on the same team should never win. If anybody, again, if anyone who plays H-Pal, you understand what I mean by that. Having a Ret and an H-Pal on the same team is literally another worst case scenario, which we should never win, and somehow I managed to win these games. Pretty insanely. But here I Hodge him. I could have blinded him, but I don't really want to be in the open too long. Our main goal is to let them do the CC, and I'm just going to chill back, go in for Hodge when I can, but mainly just line the mage and do what I can. Because all it really takes is one CC go, and I'm pretty much dead. I played on my mage, actually. My mage is like only like 1100 at like 2400 or more. Bro, it is the worst feeling facing double melee. Oh my god. I faced my second solo shuffle, I think, and I've literally had four melees in one lobby. Actually, no. Yeah, four melee. Or, no, I think it's three, but all I know is I'm always facing two melees. It's the most annoying thing I've ever had. If you're a caster and you have that many, if you have two melees on you the entire game, it feels like you can't play. Like you just don't do damage. It's all up to you just to CC and that's about it. That's about all you're getting to do. So I understand the struggle as a when you're double melee, but at the same time, if we were like a different caster comp, a caster comp's always going to beat a melee comp, usually. Now, obviously depends on what it is, but in this situation, the druid team probably should win this. Mainly because I have a red on my team, but at the same time, it really just depends on the druid. But I plan on playing my druid after this, and we're probably going to try to get a solo and at least try to get up a little bit of rating. Because I mean, we're at really good MMR on most of my characters, other than my evoker and my holy priest. They have terror because they're fresh. Because I haven't played them. This is the first time I played them this season, and yeah, you can already know when you played early on, you didn't get that big MMR gap that I'm getting now. So like if you went 6-0 like or if you were doing really good records at the very start of the expan or the season, you didn't gain huge MMR buffs like I am now. Like let's say I start at 1600 MMR, if I go 5-1 or 6-0, I'm instantly jumping up to like 2100 MMR, which is a huge gap for your second solo shuffle. And if you do good from there, you're just gaining 100 MMR every time. So eventually you're just gaining enough MMR to where, okay, if I go 33, I'm gaining, a lot of rating still. So, yeah, on my Holy Priest and Evoker, I did not get any MMR at all. So literally I gain 15 rating and then I lose 60 rating. So I decided just not to queue on them until the end of the season. That way MMR gradually goes up and then their MMR goes up just enough to where I can hit my 2400 on them. But here, we killed him just in time to where it was just enough to take him out. If we didn't kill him right there, the game was over. Thankfully, we end up taking out the warrior. This warrior has a bad habit of running a little bit too far in, and then he ends up, dying. But in this situation, all we need to do is go the druid on stuns and just go mage and ret. Pretty much PvE whatever we can hit, and that's pretty much that. We'll probably end up killing the mage or the druid. Usually not going to be the ret, but who knows. But yeah, we're gonna play the good old Rester. That is Q seemed not terrible at this time, and I'm kind of already warmed up. Again, all it takes is one evoker on a team, and it's terrible for both classes. And I'm surprised I even did this good, to be honest. As hpal, I had to play insanely good, to be honest. So this is a rare lobby where I get, and these are very rare again. And for some reason, all my 6-0s are versus Wrestlers usually, which is like the rarest thing that like a Wrestler should never lose to an hpal, but somehow all my 6-0s are always versus Wrestlers. I don't even know how. And then on my druid, all of my super like my 5-1s and stuff are versus like random hpals, random priests. Because obviously Wrestler is only gonna lose to if there's a Evoker in the group, then you're probably gonna lose as a Wrestler. But here we get a Hodge off, we get Trinket, or I think he already Trinketed actually. So well, we've gotten his Trinket out of the way, so we're in a good spot right now. We've gotten double Trinket. I still have Bubble. I still have my Trinket. I'm dispelling here. I'm probably gonna pre-shield myself. I'm gonna LOS the mage so he can't hit me. He Hodges. I'm gonna immediately Trinket because obviously they're popping their damage. There's no point of holding Trinket there. Here I try to fake cast. It looks like they didn't even bother to kick. They get a good knock here. Here I just literally cast in their face and they decided not to kick me, so very nice. Here I'm healing myself up. I haven't beaconed myself because I know I'm not going to take much damage unless the rat has wings up and I'm in a Hodge with Trinket, without Trinket, then I don't really need to beacon myself at at this point. So here we get a full Hodge on the Druid into a Sank, which is really nice because we get Sank out of the way. My warrior does pop some damage off, so he's just training the Druid, which is actually really good. If the Druid's ever in mid like he's doing right now, he's gonna die quick. As a druid, you have to immediately leave the zone, and this mage needs to be peeling my teammates off him. Instead of the mage trying to solo me, which he should never try to do as a mage, he needs to literally be peeling and sheeping my team. Because as you can see, the druid's literally just getting trained down by a warrior. My guy actually trinkets a root, if you've seen. He actually trinketed a root. This is how PvE this really is. And this is what they can do versus, if you know what you're doing against the rest of the druids. So here, they swap me, very good. Actually, a really good swap by these guys. Unfortunately, I kind of just topped myself off because I know how to play. And and yeah, it was honestly pretty nice games. I'm surprised they didn't kick here. So here they actually end up holding kick for some reason. Usually nobody holds kick like what they're doing. Nobody does that. I've never had somebody hold kick. Usually they always kick me. So here I end up DR hodging. I didn't even know it was on the double DR. Otherwise I would have just hodged the ret or the mage. So here I hodged the druid and we get block out of it. So maybe it was good. Maybe it gave us enough globals to where he couldn't get his heals off in time because he probably had overgrowth. But that DR Hodge allowed us to get. Who knows? I think it was just bad Hodge regardless. I thought it was only first DR, but I wasn't paying attention, I guess. So here he finally does kick me. Out of every other time, he never kicked me. And then, of course, he does now. So here I just bubble. The reason I didn't try to go with that cast is because the ret's on top of me. I'm 30%. If he kicks me, I'm going to die. So bubble is the correct and only answer at that point. Because it's too high damp for anything else. There's no point of bopping myself. The only situation there is if I don't cast and I try to heal myself. At that point, the game's already over. We just need to bubble and not be stingy with our cooldowns. So here, as a Ret Warrior, our main goal is to go Druid. This is how we win the game. If these guys don't go Druid most of the game, we're going to lose. Thankfully, we get very lucky at the end and they end up just training the rest of Druid. Again, all we have to do is train the Druid nonstop. Pretty much every time we can hit him, we want to hit him. Otherwise, we want to hit the Frost Mage or the Arcane, and that's pretty much that. So here I dispel the root because I don't want him just randomly freedom. Here I try to fake cast. I guess that he just decides it's not a good idea to, for some reason the AoE moves just enough to where I don't get out of the sheet, which is disgusting. So I tried to run into the AoE, but it literally started moving as I got there. So here I immediately trinket the clone. No point of sitting a clone because then I'm just going to get recloned. So here they can't sheet me, they can't do anything. Here I'm going to Hodge the Druid. Even if he's in bear form or behind LOS, it's still fine. See, this is where we should be going Druid. So we should be on the Druid ASAP. The Warrior has the good idea here. He's going on the Druid. My Ret should be doing the same thing. This Ret kind of like was playing goofy. We should always be going Druid. 99 again, 90% of the game is going Druid. That's our only win chance. We're not going to kill a mage, and if we do kill a mage, it's off pure luck. If this is based off a skill match, and here I blinded, and for some reason I wasn't when I look at a DR, I think it's always the first one because like what unless how can it already be a DR? Is he running rep or blind? I can't even tell. Maybe he feared. I don't know. But here, this guy just needs the magic bop. So yeah, he does. Here I try to cast. Here I fake cast because I know anytime anybody has kick, you want to at least try to fake cast the first time. As you can see, if the guy second guy that had the kick, if he waited for my bubble to end, he actually would have kicked me on my tier of deliverance, and it would have been really bad for us because we need our tier of deliverance. If we don't have it up, we ain't doing no healing, and if we ain't doing no healing, we dead. So here he tries pre-tranking my Hodge, but obviously I'm not going to fall for that. So here we get a sheep. He's probably going to try to clone me. Yep, beautiful clone by him. At this point, we should be on the Druid right now ASAP. Here I'm trying to heal him. We get bubble off, really good bubble. Again, my Ret should be on the Druid. Perfect. So now we're on the Druid. This is what we should be doing. On the Druid all game. So here I dispel the Warrior even though they break it. So I should have dispelled the Ret, but oh well. So at this point, we're in a bad spot. As double melee, we have to kill this Druid, and we need to kill him quick. I'm trying to keep us up as long as possible. I have Trinket for the next sheep or clone, but I need to be very careful with my Trinket. So here I try holding because I'm like, nah, I'm not going to hold. The reason I didn't hold there is I wanted to save it for clone, but if I saved it for clone, again, I don't have enough healing to top this guy. So here I put 45% healing on him, and this is the end of the game. So this is all the healing I have left. I kick him here. I'm just trying to cast. They both have kick, but they just decide they don't want to use it. I dispel my warrior because he's in a root. At this point, I use Aura Mastery so I can free cast. I'm going to blind the mage back here so he can't just free cast on my team. He trinkets immediately, and the druid's 10%. We just need to kill him. Kill. Nice. The warrior, or I don't know who kills him. I think the warrior soloed him again. Thankfully, my warrior was on his game that killed his druid. If this warrior wasn't on the druid, we would lose this game. Because the ret was never on the druid when he was supposed to. This warrior was on him non-stop. It's beautifully seen. It's exactly what I like to see. So thankfully for the warrior, we end up winning the game here. So for the next matchup, it is Mage, Ret, Rest Druid, and again here we want to go Druid whenever we can, but mainly we want to go Mage and Ret, because obviously we have to deal with Sank, we have to deal with Sack. It's not going to be a fun time going Druid every go, but in high dampening, we should just be able to kill this Druid. Again, Druids die pretty quick. If the Druid doesn't play really good and he doesn't like get really good peels, he's going to die pretty quick. And that's pretty much how it is. If you don't have a good team to peel you, you're going to die as a Druid. It really all comes down to your team. Because Druids right now aren't running precog. So he's running precog, but you're not really supposed to. I mean, you can. I'm running the double mastery on one of my Druids, and I get so much more benefit of healing. Maybe I should be running precog, but I just don't feel like it's worth it. I just feel like having like so much more healing. I literally, it feels like I'm doing double the healing because I have two pieces that give me the mastery, the 90% mastery over 90%. So I'm getting 2,000 mastery over 90%, which is an insane healing buff. So here I blind the ret so we can do damage on the rest of the druid here, which is a really good blind. The reason I'm running blind is because I'm playing with a mage. If you're ever playing with a mage or a warrior, there's no point in running rep because he's going to be sheeping or he's going to be ringing, and you're not really going to get any benefit out of running rep with the mage. So, that's that. Here I dispel here. We dispel the thing. We're going on the druid here, which is really good. I end up denouncing him, so he gets no crit off of his Swiftman. At this point, we're going on the ret, which is really good because the druid's downstairs, so we can get some pressure off on the ret. I sack him high here, so we can just keep doing some healing. He could kick me, but again, he's behind the pillar, so unless he blink gets it, he's probably not gonna get it. So here he shapes me, even though it's into a literally a sack and ring of fire, but that's what it is. So here we have block, we have altar time. I have full Hodge on the druid here, so we should just be able to kill this druid very soon. He actually sinks air, which is really good for us because we could be able to DR stun him off that. So here he also gets sacked. Yep, we DR stun the druid, really good. We sheep the mage. We fear the mage, insane. So now they have no healing right now. At this point, we just need to kill the druid and take him out. Here he iron barks himself. Again, he's kind of just trying to out heal, and it's getting to the dam to where you're not just able to sit there. Somehow he ends up surviving. He got very lucky that he barely bear formed that, but he runs upstairs, and it allows us to just train him again. And a druid without Ironbark being on top of a warrior is a no bueno, pretty much. So at this point, we just need to go druid or go ret, hit something. And at this point, I trinket Hodge him. We can go on the druid immediately. I'm gonna try to keep him up here. I sack him so we can just keep doing healing. I have precog up, I think, or I think no, I had bubble up. I was wondering why I was not able to be kicked. At this point, I can Aura Mastery offensively, which I probably will soon. We'll see. Yep, Aura Mastery, so my mage gets a free cast. No kicks allowed. At this point, we're kind of in trouble. We're kind of out of CDs. I don't really have any healing. I have bombs left, but they're just going to be spell sealed. I have land hands. It's not going to really do much at this or at this dampening. At this point, we just need to go druid or go anybody and win. We should just go druid here. He's already 50%, and the dampening, he doesn't have iron bark. He's probably dead here. We'll see what happens. And it looks like the druid is going to die. So here we go, druid with the full Hodge. He trinkets the Hodge. Nope, he doesn't. GG. Peace, boys.